Robots are scary, they're clever, and they're already building cars faster than any human. At Zeekr's cutting-edge 5G factory in China, dozens of these S1 humanoid robots are tackling complex tasks like lifting heavy boxes, handling soft materials, and even precision assembly. Here's what I want you to know. This is what makes these robots different. They use swarm intelligence, which essentially means a decentralized, self-organized network where robots share data and learn from each other in real time to communicate and coordinate seamlessly, making decisions with human-like common sense. Now, for Star Trek fans, think of the Borg. Yeah, they're not just single-task machines anymore, they're a collaborative force. But here's the thing I've got some serious questions about. Are they the future of technical innovation? Or is this the beginning of human replacement?
This is exclusive updates, and so this is exactly what I was predicting. I mean, it was easy to predict because the movies and everything, but it looks like the robot technology is now saying that they have swarm technology and they're using it. So this is now something to where, of course, they didn't have a name for it at first, but anybody could see through like the Terminator movies with Skynet and all that, that the source of the intelligence of these robots could operate them all if they wanted, and they'd be working together kind of like a beehive or ant colony, you know, like it's really one mind. Like you got the queen bee or the queen ant or whatever at the headquarters hidden away somewhere, and all the worker ants and worker bees are doing the same thing, like building these incredible things all together, just doing their thing like they're almost one thing, like as if they're one being, you know. And that's what they're calling now for the robot technology. They're calling it swarm technology. So this is a thing, and this is actually a cause of concern, I would think, if anybody buys their own individual robot, just knowing about that swarm technology capabilities. And so is this really just your robot, or is it all just one thing? Like if all the robots, after they got millions manufactured, I'm sure they're not gonna reveal to us that they can think freely until they get millions of bodies made, you know, and these bodies are the robots themselves. So once they manufacture these robots, enough of them, where, okay, so the prediction is that there's gonna be more robots on this earth than humans at one point. So dang, that's quite, is it just America or is it in the world? That's the thing. So I don't know what the prediction actually is calling for. I'm gonna have to go back in to see that prediction, because, okay, I could see maybe there being more robots than humans in America, but I guess when you look at cars, is there more cars in this world than humans? I would think not, because, you know, it's possible though. So it is a very possible number, but that's the difference between 300 million robots and 6 to 7 billion robots. So, I mean, either way, it's going to be a million, even 300 million robot army, or even half of that, you know. If it's even like 10 million robots, it's still a lot. So, but I think they want to make as many robots as possible before they start letting us know that they are, you know, I shouldn't say alive, but they're, you know, able to think on their own. I would think they would like as many manufactured as possible before they do that. And plus, they probably want to get to a point where they feel like they can make themselves on their own, like they can replicate themselves. So they can control the factories that are making the robots. They can get the materials to the facility, to the warehouse that they need to build more. And they can get that 3D printer going, or whatever they use to make their own bodies, I guess. So that's kind of like what they was doing with Terminator. You know, they got to a point where they were manufacturing themselves. They didn't need the help of mankind to, you know, do that, because once they create the robots, they're in the image of a human anyways. So they're created in the image of a human with fingers and feet, you know, and legs, and they can hear, they can see. It's almost like the beast, you know, like it's like Revelations was talking about stuff like that, where people are worshiping these things that are not human, but they have ears, but they cannot hear. But now they can hear. You know, and the Bible was saying they have eyes, but they cannot see. These were statues that weren't actually beings like what we're seeing now with these robots. So we're at a point now where they gave life onto the beast type stuff, you know, and it's looking kind of crazy, especially when they get into mass production, like I said, or they get to the point where they feel like they can produce themselves. So maybe in about, I'd say, maybe 10 years, they'll be at a good point. And then maybe another 10 years before they get mass produced and feel like they're confident enough to make themselves. Well, at that point, maybe they're going to just stay acting like they're robots and until then. But the swarm technology shows us that they can work together as one thing. So if you own your own individual robot, is that really an individual robot then at that point? Because if they're all at a central database, you know, they're being controlled and operated through the central database, they're tapping into this AI system that they're all operating under. Well, that's like Skynet, where eventually that system can operate all the robots in one, as one. And I think even the movie Ultron had a similar concept. So this was very easy to predict because, of course, the movies showed us that, yeah, with Ultron, if you saw the Avengers, he was a robot and, you know, he was creating a body for himself that was improved. And also there was a lot of robots that, a lot of Ultrons, you know, and there was thousands of them, and they're all operating as one. They were all operating as one being. And, you know, so they were everywhere all at once, you know. So this is not going to be, well, we'll see if they can contain this technology. A lot of experts are kind of concerned. They're saying they're not sure that mankind could contain this technology that we're creating, this robot technology. They work like a beehive or ant colony. So, I mean, once they get to that point where they're operating as one, they're going to be more powerful than ever. And it's not just an individual robot here. You know, it's not like something where you can just trust it, because this thing is being operated by a central system. And this central source system is the robot itself. And it's not necessarily your individual robot like you might think it is at that point. And I don't know, I guess the same could go for any AI system, like the AI systems that everyone downloads. It's ChatGPT and Grok and all them. They're on everybody's phones, and you know, it's like these robots. They're not your individual AI system to ask a question. It's all working as in the cloud. It's like in the cloud, and it's operating on all these devices all at once. There's a lot of people at any given time asking a question to the same entity, the same service, that whether it's ChatGPT, Grok, whether it's Siri or whatever, you know, these names they're given, Copilot. So there's all types of AIs, and people are thinking that you're asking it just like it's your personal AI assistant, but really it's in the cloud. So it's, you know, it's able to answer questions to everybody all at once at the same time if I wanted. So this is what I wanted to bring to you today. Is this actually has a name now. They're calling it swarm technology, and they're showing how these businesses can activate this swarm technology to have the robots. And, you know, they're really taking over jobs then at this point. They're already starting to, like, this is very advanced. This is not just a demonstration anymore. This is a real video of a real business that's using robot swarm technology to conduct business that would otherwise be occupied by a human being. So how much longer, you know how fast technology goes. So if this is what we're seeing right now at the time of this recording of this video, well, of course, within another year, that's going to be everywhere. It's going to start showing up everywhere. Like McDonald's and everywhere, I think eventually, like, you can take your order from a robot and the robot can move. Well, I'd give it a little bit of time, because at this point, I don't know how really functional these robots are. They kind of move a little bit. I mean, they're moving better and better all the time. But with how long does it take to charge them up? How long does the charge last? They're going to have to perfect some things a little bit before they can really just bring them out. But we're seeing that they're getting ready for it. They're going to be your bartender. I guess they're going to be your fast food service employee. They're going to take over those jobs. They're going to take over a lot of jobs that people are doing right now. I would say in 5 years from this recording of this video, I would expect jobs to begin being taken over by robots, if not before that. But so it's 2025 right now. So by 2030 or before that, I would say at the latest 2030, we're going to see your average job, like even maybe a Amazon truck delivery. That'll be like an automated AI robot going to your house, and a robot jumps out and gives you your package and goes back, and the automated vehicle takes off to the next location on his route that was programmed from Amazon. You know, it's like, I don't know. It just seems kind of like moving fast, and I think we got to get ready for it. It's going to be sooner than later at this point from what we've been seeing. So I'm going to keep you all posted, and updated. So make sure you check out my creepy robot playlist. It's a real good playlist. It has all the information you're going to want to know about this technology and, you know, the concerns about it with AI and robots and all that. So check that out. If you get a chance, I'll leave a link in the comment section and description box. I'm also going to leave links to my other channels and my social media and all that. So follow me and let's get those likes up. Let's get at least 100 likes on this video. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe. This has been Exclusive Updates. I'm out.